video you're about to watch is about the Blue Bomber T, the car that never was. I'm a little disappointed, but if you stick all the way to the end, it does have a happy ending.
And I want to build some excitement.
Okay, we're going to build some excitement. You know, people say that we need an industrial arts program back in this world. We got one of those here?
We had one a long time. There's not even, I don't even think there's an industrial arts program in the state. They don't either cabinet making or construction or some more.
Well, I shouldn't say this now that I'm on board, but I dropped out of high school. But I did finish it. I only needed half a credit. My parents weren't happy, so I went to night school and I finished before the rest of my class and did get my diploma. So here we got a bunch of blocks. Yesterday they showed up, 45 kids. I asked them, what are you here for? Oh, we don't know. So we gathered them up and I was like, well, who wants to build a car? Everybody was like, I think everybody did that. How many are you taking home? And I asked him, well, who believes we can build a car this year? And there was like two or three went, oh yeah, because there's a lot to build a car. We need to break this down into bite-sized pieces.
Yeah.
And fit it into our existing curriculum and maybe make it a pathway and move it ahead that way. But we're going to build a car.
That's right.
And like I told them, we're not just going to build a car. We're going to build the best car any high school has ever built. And we've built cars with high schools before.
High expectations.
So we've already got a pretty high standard. So this is going to be an awesome car. So all you folks out there that are saying we got no more industrial arts program, well, this is applied education. It's not industrial arts, I guess. It's applied education.
It's happening.
And we're teaching them how to read a ruler and do all that good stuff. We're actually going to build a car. We had volunteers from the community, master mechanics, bodymen, former industrial arts teachers that have been retired for 30 years wanting to volunteer and be part of the project. Sometimes a teacher has the right paperwork to be a teacher, but they don't have the experience in the trade to actually know the job and to be able to teach the job. So we had the right teachers, former craftsmen, but we just didn't get the support. That here's how it works. You can have everything inside the box, and I take everything outside the box. So I like the freedom that way. But it's got to come from central office. So you're our project manager. What's our next step?
Well, I think we've already started engaging it with excitement with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to see how we mesh that together. My role is academics. So we're going to work together, figure out how we're going to mesh this project, the building, the motors, the measuring, the different components of the whole car into our already existing curriculum. And we will explore throughout the year if that's going to become a possible new pathway we could look at adding.
Right.
There is lots of steps, hoops and hurdles we got to go through to get to that point.
And I remember in that shop seeing all these cars come in needing rebuilding. And finally, at 12 years old, after watching my father do this, after watching him grind valves, which we won't be doing that here because we don't have a valve grinding machine and stuff, but seeing all this happen, well, I'm going in there and Daddy looks at me one day and says, that truck you're rebuilding the motor on. I said, do what? 12 years old. Then you start putting your chrome accessories on there. I'm trying to get you all fired up because it's kind of like, it's kind of like whipping cream on top of pie. You know what I'm saying? It's seeing those accessories on these cars and knowing you built that engine is going to be good.
You're going to get out of this class what you want. You're going to get out of what you put in. And this may not be your thing, but don't waste the time you have here because you don't get your time back. It'll be like tying your shoe. Once you learn how to tie your shoe, you know how to tie your shoe. Whether you ever build another motor again or not, that's really not the point. At least you know how to do it. And then you'll know, do you want to or don't you? So, that's it.
Bottom in that distributor, and it's got a rod that hooks into it that fits in this fuel pump and turns that right there. Here it's sucking. That's sucking oil. Make sure you got it straight this way. You tighten it down when you think you got it. Just zero it back, okay? See it coming out?
Yeah.
All right. Now you see what we've done.
Grant for $1.2 million to start a composites program. That would be fiberglass and chopping, because we've got a big boat industry in this area. All we're gonna do with it is give kids exposure. Give me $1.2 million and I'll train somebody to do something for sure. We needed to give them a certificate, a cert of some sort, because that was part of the grant. Well, we chose to do a certificate from OSHA that says, oh, you're capable, you're safe. And the reason we did that, because it's easy. There's an American Composites Manufacturers Association that actually has a certificate and curriculum to go around it. The reason we didn't go that direction was because that's too hard. This is the car that we're going to build for the school.
School car. We busy man.
You know why I came out of retirement?
Wow. You got bored?
Is this work? Are you guys working?
Yeah. I'm not
Yeah,
really
it's
work.
kind of fun.
It's fun work. It's vacation.
Okay, so we are like just being who we are.
Yeah.
You know what people say about y'all?
What?
You kids? Today's
No
kids?
good.
All you do is play video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't, it's like, what do you got? How can you answer that? What do you answer these old people that are like, oh, kids nowadays?
Well, how about y'all try playing video games for a while? I might like it.
Yeah. And just a little bit of instruction, and these boys are on their way to getting it done. Molds are the main thing, and these boys are learning. You're what? 20 minutes on the job here, and they're already doing mold repair. Amazing. They're doing a good job. They got the concept. So we're cleaning the edges right now. I'm watching you guys here in an hour. You kind of get the concept. Well, high school has pretty good welding equipment. They've got stick welder, MIG welder, and TIG welders. But I was pretty excited when I seen it all. But we don't teach TIG welding because nobody knows how to TIG weld. I brought the assemblies over there so the kids would have a pattern. But when I went to pick them up, there was a couple good welds, but some of it was so warped with heat, the product wasn't usable. I mean, it should have been in the garbage and I shouldn't have even seen it. And we are building a frame. You guys are after it. We're cutting parts on the plas table.
Trying to force this in there. Clean that hole out. Inside and get it cleaned up, but that has to be, all those holes need to be cleared. Okay? You holler at me when you get that done, we'll put it back together.
Now tell me what you're doing. You're waiting on parts. I just went and checked on your parts. They're building them. They're kind of cleaning it up.
This top edge. Okay? So we need 4 and 5/2 is what we're at. You're gonna go in like this, pull your blade down, make sure it's off.
So you've seen them laying out the cross member. That they had the jig table. This is our jig for the cross member, and they're all built. I believe you built these jigs, didn't you? So you kind of put it in there, and you can see the cross member that they were. We have got some jigs for the frames. And I told them when the students came here, they came by this shop here, I said, here's how my world works. It's pass-fail. You don't get an A for effort here. So did I tell you this? We're going to bring some kids in here, Daryl?
Yeah.
Okay, you're ready.
I'm not ready,
Yeah,
but you
you're
told
ready.
me.
So we're going to bring them in. You're going to be the, what would you call it, the inspector?
I'll be the overseer.
The overseer. It's got to be right. If it's going to be a spirit, it's got to be right. Well, hopefully this video doesn't seem like I'm bashing public education, because I'm not. It's a tough job. And there are some teachers out there that are awesome. They're teachers. That's who they are. They will be teaching somebody something somewhere, whether they're paid or not. And then, like every profession, there's employees that are there for a paycheck and a pension. And that's perfectly fine. But it's time to raise the standard. We need to raise the bar. One of the things I found is we want everything to be equal. They don't think it's fair if somebody gets more than another. So compensating somebody for performance is just not a concept that's understood in education. Well, I'm fair but not equal. I think a rock star should be treated with rock star pay. And not that everybody doesn't have value, and everybody absolutely has value, but let's reward success. Let's reward performance. Let's raise the bar. Let's raise the standard. Let's get it done. Let's build the most awesome car that has ever been built by young people. On the road again. Man, I have not done this for years. I already got a first gas stop, left early this morning, and it's still pretty early this morning. The sun ain't up yet, but we're on our way to Barron County. I'm actually pretty excited. I haven't done this for a while. So we dropped off the car at Barron County ATC. It's a Model A Roadster, all the parts. They are pumped they're doing it. The kids were pumped. We got to speak to the kids, and it was just a great experience.
Hey guys, this is BC from Spirit Cars. This is our little hot rod here we got.
But we don't build cars. We build dreams. But the only way to build dreams is to have dreamers. So we need a new crop of dreamers that can believe they can do whatever. We need to dream big. Not everybody here is the same. We all have different likes and different abilities and different skills. And team building is a big part of it. You know, I'm not a believer in luck. I believe that life is going to present you a lot of opportunities. And at our shop, we don't have problems. We just have solutions. So you've got the opportunity to come up with solutions to fix problems for the rest of the people in the world that aren't worried about making something of themselves and doing something. So it's exciting for me to see that you are providing this opportunity. It doesn't happen everywhere. There's a lot of schools that are like, no, you just read your books, you get your piece of paper, you do this, and this will be hands-on. There's an old saying. It goes, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it. Now, there's some people who are going to want to put a doctrine into that and say, you need to believe what I tell you to believe, and that's how we're going to brainwash you to be that. I believe we all been created with our own gifts and abilities. Everybody here has that gift and ability. So part of what you're doing is helping them find that. And when you find who you are and what you are, and you develop that over a lifetime, then when you're old, I don't go to work every morning. I get to build dreams. This isn't a job, this is, and my guys that are at the shop, we're all old and we're about retired. We could be. I was. I had to come back because there's no more of you. And there's such a big gap between my generation, you're kind of somewhere in between, and your generation. We've lost some of these skills. AI is going to take a lot of the jobs you think you might have, but AI is not going to unclog your toilet. It's not going to put the roof on a house. It's not going to, pave this or whatever the hands-on job skill, and that's the skills a lot of people have.
All right, we're rolling on back.
And I'm sure you're going to hear it over and over, don't assume anything. Check it, double check it again. Don't assume there's grease in the rear end. Absolutely. Don't assume there's bolts in the torque converter going to the flywheel. Don't assume there's oil in the motor. Don't assume anything.
Yeah, I've went over my morning group and this group yesterday to know that the car is kind of semi-assembled, meaning that it's assembled to the point where it can be delivered. But it'll all have to be pulled back apart, inspected, like you said, check all the fluids, get lined out with what our proper torque specs need to be for brake calipers, get our dimensions set up, square it up, and then start making measurements for our plumbing, for our fuel, for our brakes, and a lot to do,
And you're either going to build in quality or you're going to build in a poor quality vehicle. Whatever you do first, Think about it. Everything gets built on top of that. So if you try to shortcut and send it to the next person, they're either going to have to redo your work, or they're going to just build on top of that and send it to the next person, and send it to the next person. You don't have to understand how it works, but you can just see quality. And whatever it is, you in a person or in a thing or whatever. We need to move back to quality in this world. So I'm seeing some good stuff here. I think we got potential.
Oh, yeah. We got the facility and instructors definitely with the background. You know, pretty much all of us guys, instructors here, this is our industry. It's what we done, you know, before we start teaching.
Well, we talked about that. Can I give up a story on you?
Yeah.
You were so frustrated you were almost ready to go back to industry.
Oh yeah. With the COVID deal, and then you know getting students back engaged in the hands-on skills of it. It's been tough, but it's come back. We're doing a lot better with that now. A lot better.
30, 31 is more flat. What are 28 to 29?
That just shows what kind of relationship the teachers have with the kids. And when they reach out to the teachers, they know they're going to help them in any way they can. So
So that mentor relationship, if you
It's
can build
it's
one,
huge.
it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. And it's lifetime, really.
I had a kid send me a text message last night. He was involved. I don't know if you've seen this little tiny house on the trailer when you pulled up. It's over in front
Kind
of
of, but not really. I was
Yeah.
just kind of assessing where it's supposed
He
to
was-
go. I was like, that's my building, probably.
He was on that project, and now just by him working on that project, has led him to another career of actually working with our city now because he was involved with it. He sent us all a big message thanking us for everything they've done, and that's the rewarding side of it.
Yeah.
Because you know that you're offering a future for those kids. In other words,
I think
if they're
that's
not
one.
being successful at the high school, you know, we want them to be successful up there, but we want them to find a career down here.
I spent the morning with the folks. It's a tech school, high school tech school in Evansville, Indiana. Man, have they got it happening there. The instructors all come from industry, and they knew their stuff, and they learned how to teach to go along with their craft that they knew. So some pretty cool stuff in this school.
We have it's a downdraft bake-on. And it's tough with 26 kids to keep it clean, but, you know, we make sure we get it all cleaned up.
And we're talking about painting a car at the Bar College next year. So what is the name of this school?
It's Southern Indiana Career Tech Center.
Southern Indiana Career Tech Center, and I am amazed so far. Look at this. This is just the body shop section.
Yeah, we're dirty, but
And
I got
you're-
26
You are obviously a tech guy first and not a teacher. Have you got body experience? Or you learned all this as a teacher?
No, I grew up in it with my father in their shop, my uncle's shop. Yeah. I'm a little older than you think I am, probably.
So you went by, first thing, you heard the DA going, you're going, that thing's going too fast.
Well, yeah.
All you did is walk by, you heard the DA going, it's going too fast. We were talking about senses, see, feel, hear. It's all about, and you can tell, the machine's working or that thing's buzzing over it.
Oh, yeah, he was too. Yeah, you learn your kids too. I mean, he always runs there a little fast. So.
You don't learn that in a book.
No, they don't. We're mostly hands-on. We do book work, but we do a lot of projects.
I already got sophomores. When I talked to them about this in Indianapolis at the Skills USA state competition, they were fired up.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be a great thing, yeah. Be good for everybody.
So if you go in as an apprentice, you got any follow-up with any of your students? Are you like a mentor to your students? Like
Yes.
stay your buddy for
They
like
keep in touch.
They keep, yeah.
Yes, they do.
So what's like a success rate of somebody that goes into the industry? You got anybody?
I do. I have a student about 5 years ago that graduated out of class, and he went to work in a shop, and he texted me that he went to Base Pay Commission, and he texted me just this summer, said he cracked $100,000 salary.
So you're saying a student with no college paper,
Right.
He's got a diploma from the tech school and whatever you give here.
Yes.
5 years in, so he's not an apprentice anymore. 5 years, he's a journeyman.
True.
Is making $100,000 plus and probably got insurance and things like that.
Yes. 401ks. And yeah, he's got the whole package. Good kid.
Working you're not bodyman anymore. You're collision.
collision
You're technicians.
technician. He's a
Yeah,
collision
it's a different
technician.
world.
Not doing any painting because the other painters, but he repairs, disassembles, reassembles.
And he's a probably sought after employee. I mean,
Yes,
he would be
could.
stolen by another company.
He very well could. Or I retire, he could take my place.
Well,
Seriously.
if
And
public
he's-
education would get the concept of we need technicians to teach technical skills,
Yes.
and we can teach the teaching skill on top of that.
He's a good kid. He's done real well.
Well, good. That's exciting to hear.
And I have
So
others.
if you're a young person hearing that, you get your hands dirty, it's not a bad thing. So you never know what's going to happen. I'm in the body shop now. And we're going to go through this magic door. Oh my gosh, look at this. So this is, I'm not sure what this is. I'm going to get introduced to a new, it looks like it's virtual gaming. Are we virtual gaming over here?
Absolutely.
All right. At least I get an answer. You got it going on.
I'm replacing the drum shoes.
You're replacing drum shoes?
Yeah.
Awesome. On a big truck?
No, it's on a Altima or something.
Oh, so that's easy. You don't have to worry about dropping it on your foot then.
Absolutely.
That big truck stuff, man. Oh. You're the instructor of, what is your general, what do you instruct?
So my classes, so this is all automotive service. So dual teacher class. So my area that I teach here is, for the morning class, is steering, suspension, and alignments.
Perfect. Okay.
And then for my afternoon class, I teach engine mechanical. So we do an engine, we'll take you back to engine lab here in a second. So we just got Toyota 2 GRFEs torn all the way down to the blocks. And so they're just learning about the 4-stroke cycle, what all the components are. And so we're gonna be measuring cylinders, we're measuring pistons, fitting rings, because kids always break the cooler rings, so we have to refit rings in there. So that's what my afternoon class does. And then
This is awesome to see.
yeah.
I mean, they're all engaged. They're
Yeah.
all doing this. You know, you're not a teacher first. You're an industry guy first.
That's what I tell a teacher. I didn't go to school to be a teacher. I came from Lexus. So I was a Lexus master mechanic, and I came from Lexus, worked there. I worked a couple years underground. I didn't go to school to be a teacher. Chris didn't go to school to be a teacher. Most of the teachers in this building didn't go to school.
You
I
just
came.
teach.
Yep.
You're
Yeah.
a master of your
Yeah.
craft, and then you teach it.
Yeah. So this is our engine. This is where we do our engine disassembly and measuring.
Oh wow! Look at this.
So we have our measurement tools over here. So we got micrometers, which we haven't gone even over measuring micrometers yet. So what I like to do is come back, have the kids, we go through, we tear the engine down together, step by step, bolt by bolt, we tear it all the way down. And now we're just getting into the lesson. So we're talking about 4-stroke cycle, the engine bottom end, and then once we get through the engine bottom end lesson, we're gonna do a micrometer lesson. I'm gonna make everybody measure with micrometers.
The good folks over at the Frog Follies convinced me to come back out for one last hurrah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if I'm going to do this, we're going to do the impossible.
Yeah.
So we want to build a car in 2.5 days. So you're a suspension guy, and you're a motor guy. Putting together a 37 to 41 Ford Spindo with coilover shocks on the back and a thing.
Yeah, that should be, shouldn't be an issue, so we should be get it done in a
So
couple
you
weeks.
guys can build us a chassis on Friday and have it ready.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully, we're going to
Yeah.
run this across the
Oh, yeah.
finish line and give it to somebody on
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon.
Well, we'll be there as long as we need to be there to get it done.
Oh, that's an attitude I like.
Yeah.
Get it done. So what about the motor now? Can we build a motor at the show?
So my thing is, it just depends on how much you want the students to do versus us doing.
I want the students to do everything.
Yeah, so it's going to be better if we, and I thought Carl was saying that Jasper was donating an engine. It would be better if an engine was already assembled, ready to go.
Yeah,
Just
what about dressing it up at the show?
Yeah, we can do that, but as far as the engine bottom end, the head's already on it. You're talking about just like intake on and carburetor on it, right? So,
I'm listening more than saying.
Okay.
I want you to do the impossible.
Okay.
But I want it to be accomplished.
yeah, so again, the students that we have, again, are just very inexperienced. They didn't, again, a lot of my students right now, this is their first area that they've not even held a tool in their hand yet. So we just started getting into lifts. So
But how pumped would they be if we go to the show and build a car in 2.5 days?
Oh, they would love
and they
it,
go
yeah,
like,
yeah.
whoa.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely, but I think things like the engine probably needs to be already assembled.
Okay, so
and we
we'll
can drop
have
it
the
in there.
engine painted.
Yeah.
A long block.
Yeah.
Painted, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then it shouldn't be a problem. How long do you think? A couple, 3 hours with the students to put cool valve covers on it and dress it
Yeah.
up a little bit
Yeah.
and put the plugs in and run the wires
It all
in?
depends on how many students are going to be out there too, right? And so are you going to have, like, I know we'll need a tool list. Are you going to have, so if we have a lot of people out there, we'll also need kind of probably,
Well, we
like-
need coordinated teams.
yeah, exactly.
Of the right
like-
amount of people
yeah.
that have the right
All
skills.
right, you're going to work on this, you're going to work on this,
Exactly.
and kind of have almost a flow chart of it needs to go in this order,
Exactly.
this order, and this order.
Exactly.
If we have that, it's going to make it a lot easier and a lot more
And as
successful.
instructors, I would like us to just, here's the flow chart,
Yeah.
here's what we need to accomplish, here's the mission, here's the goals for the
Yeah.
lesson, whatever it is.
Absolutely. But my students will have steering, suspension, and alignment this year. So we do quite a bit of suspension repairing here. So as far as assembly, they should be capable of doing.
I can get you some assembly drawings and maybe
Yeah.
a video or two and show you what, it's pretty,
Yeah.
we're not reinventing any wheel.
Yeah, no.
It's been around. So,
No, we're excited about it. So
well, good,
Yeah.
good. Now, I didn't know where my commitment level was.
Yeah.
In Arkansas, we're 47th in the country for a reason, it looks like, and in a country that's not exactly known for the best education.
yeah,
This is like a bright spot
yeah.
for me to see what you got going on
Yeah.
here.
It's crazy that the facility. Have you been around the rest of the building
No,
yet?
this
or-
is
Okay.
station 2.
Okay.
I opened a new door and it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
I had no clue this was behind the door
Yeah.
over here.
So they pretty much spare no expense in pretty much every class in the building. So next door, there's a diesel classroom as well. You'll be impressed by that. And then our precision machine shop, our welding shop. So
Well, I asked the folks in the body shop. So you'll have how many students you have? 40, 50?
we have 48 right now. so,
48.
yeah.
How many will wind up in the industry, do you think?
It's a pretty low percentage, really. So 48 in the morning, and then we have 30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So we do take, I always make a mistake about calling this a junior class. It's actually Automotive Service 1. But we have 5 seniors in here, but most of them are juniors, and they're going to come back next year for Automotive Service 2. All my afternoon is seniors, but we do take some seniors in the morning, so that's why the afternoon is usually lower now.
Do you think 3 or 4 maybe will go into the industry?
I'd say probably 10% or so.
10%?
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah.
And plus they get the hands-on skills.
Yeah.
If you got cognitive thinking, that's
And
good.
what I always tell all the students when they start in this program anyway, if you get in here and realize this isn't for me, like, the entire school is here. Find something you love to do.
Exactly.
Right?
I
So if you
was
get
telling
here-
this story the other day. There's an old saying, train up a child in the way they should go. When they're old, they won't depart from it. I don't believe that means I should brainwash a kid to believe the way that
Yeah.
I want them to believe. No, they've been created with a certain set of skills.
Yeah.
If they can find those and we can help them develop those, that's who you are.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's
Yeah.
what you love. It's not a job. It's like, that's who I am.
Yeah. So if you find something that you love doing, then you're going to be happier in life. So, I mean, they're in high school. They don't necessarily know what they're going to do. I know. So I was the teacher that was formerly here. I had him in high school, but it was at the Old North High School. I was going to go to U of E for engineering, and I got in his class and just realized I loved this field. So I talked with my parents about going to UTI, and they're like, well, if you can get any scholarships. And just from this program, I was able to get really high score on the entrance exam and got a free ride to UTI.
We do a lot of work with
Yeah.
UTI.
So that's where I graduated from. And I mean,
So if your student goes out of here, goes, say, apprentice in the industry, what can they expect for a job, money-wise?
So we always tell students like that.
Do you follow up? Are you a good mentor? Do you have students that are still calling you and hanging out? And
Yeah. So I still have a lot of my former students on social media are staying in, and I still get calls, especially about Twitter, and like, hey, I got this coming in. Have you ever seen that? Yeah. Especially the ones that stay in the industry. I'm still in
so the ones that
contact.
stay, are they happy? Oh, this is a career. Thanks.
Yeah, because they enjoy working on stuff.
Make a good living.
Yeah. But I always tell students it's like anything else. I mean, the harder you work in the automotive field, you're going to make more money because you're flat rate. So if you're not
Yep.
willing to work, then you're not
Well,
going to
it's
make
that
any
way in
money.
life.
So yeah.
You get what you out
Yeah.
of what you put in.
So it's all depending on the student. So are they willing to put in the work? But the ones that are, so
You're excited, motivated. Did you take a, I don't know, and I'm talking too much about money.
No.
Did you take a pay cut to leave industry to come to education?
a big pay cut. A big pay
You took
cut.
a big pay cut
Yeah.
to invest in the next generation.
Say
Thank
probably
you. Thank you for that.
probably $40,000 or $50,000 a year. Now, that being said, I also own a business outside of here, so being a school teacher, the time I have off, I can spend doing that as well. So,
Well,
and my
I'd
business
say
has grown. So I've,
A
I took a
good
pay cut
teacher,
there.
a good teacher's a calling.
Yeah.
You're going to teach somebody something somewhere somehow,
Yeah.
whether you get paid or not.
Yeah.
Or it could be, you could be an employee here and you're here for a paycheck and a pension.
And
It's
so-
that way in every industry.
So my business is I used to be a fighter whenever I was younger as well. So I
Oh,
own
MMA.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah. So
I'm glad you didn't crush them.
So I own an MMA gym, and I've got one guy that was in the UFC. We have 3 guys that were formerly in the UFC, and I've got some up-and-coming fighters. So I teach here, I go teach there, and then I also have a couple of German Shepherds. So I'm always training them because they do some bite dog, either bite
You are
dogs
the
as well.
perfect. You can keep
So-
control of the classroom. These kids can get out of. The good news is, next year for the 50th anniversary, Frog Follies in Evansville, Indiana. We're going to build a car at the show with a couple of different tech schools. Went there at the 49th and kind of surveyed it, met with some of the schools. I'm excited. And check out some of these, the schools here. Amazing what's going on. And these are high school level schools. We're at the school this morning. I feel real good about it. These kids are going to build a car. And we're going to build it.
It's gonna get done.
We're going to build it right here, right?
We got plenty of
Right in this area.
tech
So-
features to back it up. So
You're not going to be popular next year when they don't have shade to sit under.
We'll just relocate them.
We're going to relocate them.
yeah,
And it's not my fault. So you're hearing it here first. These are the 2 responsible for no shade for you next year. But this looks like the main drag. Look at this. Now, how cool is that? But this is the main drag, I guess.
going around.
So we'll be right in the middle of the action.
You're in the middle.
The pressure will be on. We need to make it happen. So what? Lemonade over here. I got my lemonade.
That's all right.
We're good to go.
Drinks and food.
What's in there? I see a lot of people going in there.
More food.
More food.
Food here, food there. Pork chops back behind us.
All right. Well,
You
cool.
can't find it here. You aren't gonna find it.
So I feel real good. At the school, they were on board. It's happening over there.
Yeah, they're excited.
So we're going to be able to build a car, and it ain't going to be us old guys. It's going to be some excitement for the next generation, I think.
Yep.
So we are looking forward to it.
We just talked to one of the employers early that has one of my students working for him. He'll be out there working too. So I actually forgot about Tanner. He'll be here.
We may have to say, okay, you're doing it in shifts. You can't. Well, and we do want to. So we're going to try to schedule it as a seminar, and we've been talking about that. So if we're going to work on the breaks between this time and this time, and we'll try to break it down that way. So put it on your calendar right now. What's the date for next year? Same weekend?
Same
So
weekend.
it's always a weekend prior to Labor Day.
The weekend prior to Labor Day, 2025, 50th anniversary. It's Spirit Car's 30th anniversary. I've been walking around the show. This is the friendliest people here. And you focus on making it friendly and just awesome for any participant.
It's all about the Rodders.
It's all
About
it
the
is.
Rodders and making it family
Making it a
friendly.
family-friendly event.
Because the Rodders bring their kids, bring their grandkids.
Try to make it economical.
I have members of the car club that used to be kids that played my activity games.
Wow.
Yes. Matter of fact, he is our Rod Run chairman this year.
Wow, that's awesome.
Ron is.
So I kind of added to the theme for next year's build. We were over at A+. So it's about passing it to the next generation. We'll have to come up with something catchy, but they talked about safety. That's a big issue. We need to build a safe car next year and really focus on that. It's fun to be pretty
Yeah, we definitely want it to be user-friendly and safe.
and safe. So we need to, I think, focus and stressing that as we build next year.
Because Hoover and Wentz's car will be driving hopefully a lot of miles with it.
Yeah,
So they'll turnkey and take off Sunday of next year.
and ready to drive home when they
Yeah.
pick it up Sunday afternoon. Building a car in 2.5 days.
That's the plan.
I said if we're gonna do something, we're gonna do something impossible.
Yeah. If it's not safe, it's not leaving. So.
Correct.
That wasn't, he did.
So it would be safe.
The way you said that.
Cover everybody.
The way you said that, okay, I won't question that. That's a done deal.
You might want to edit that out.
No, that's in there. No, so that's the priority. So I'm excited. Thanks for having us. Thanks for inviting us. I'm
Thanks for coming down.
honored. So this is good.
Good coming.
Very good.